I'm going to be doing a short tutorial on how to do a braided hairstyle that was recently featured in one of the Victorian meeting ads. This hairstyle is a front braid, that's sort of a French braid. I'm not a professional hairstylist, not really professional anything, so please excuse some of the novice commentary here. I'm going to be working with a skin-topped wig here, and the wig is mounted on a head form here, and that is mounted on a wig stand, which is a 2-liter bottle just filled with rice, so it's a little bit more stable. I'm going to be using, obviously, the wig as well as some bobby pins, and I'm going to be using black bobby pins here because they are much more visible against the blonde wig, so hopefully it'll be easier to see. I'll also be using one larger clip, which is just sort of the little snappy clips. I'm going to be using, of course, a wide tooth comb to style the wig, and I'm going to be using, in the very end, some little flowers and other decorations to decorate the style. This is a pretty simple way of styling a wig. The nice thing is it's not going to be using any styling products, so you won't have to wash the wig afterwards. You can very easily do this also with your own hair. If you're going to use your own hair, it probably needs to be a little past shoulder length, and it can be followed the same way. This can be done with bangs, without bangs. The end part of this wig will be using the bangs to be swept up into the braid part of the hairstyle. But if you don't have bangs, you can simply omit that part. The first thing I did was separate out the different parts of the hair. Now I've done this ahead of time, and I suggest doing it ahead of time because it makes it a lot easier to do. It makes the styling go a lot easier, and it's much easier because you're going to be working with the braid, a lot of it. So I'm going to show you the ways I've portioned this out. Starting on the left side, you can do this either way, depending on which is more comfortable for you. On the left side, I've taken this front piece here, so it's sort of ear tail thing, and that's separated out. If you look at the back, I've got 3 small sections, and this is from the top of the crown back. 3 small sections here, which will be integrated into the braid. The braid is pretty much like a French braid. So I've got 3 different sections, and then this whole back part is loose. Okay? This wig is a little thin, so the end of my styling will be used to cover up some of the wefts that will end up being shown. And around the other side, I have a much larger section. It's about twice the size of the section on the left side. So the right side is very large. And this is going to be used for the braid. The braid is going to come along the front here and the left down. I think this style really suits classic as well as Mori, and I'm sure you could use it for pretty much any style depending on what type of accessories you put in it. So we're going to get started here with the braid. The braid is really simple. It's just, I'm going to pop out of frame here most likely, but my hands will still be in frame. The braid is just a French braid pretty much. And to do this, we're going to start by working this up, just gently lifting it. Okay, and then I like to give a little twist. There's a lot of twists in this, and I think it gives it a cute, slightly loose feel. I'm going to sort of ignore some of the flyaways as they happen, just so I can get through this a little quicker. Add a pin here. I need 2. There we go. And this is going to come around the top. So you're going to section this into 3 smaller pieces to start your braid. The first time I did this style, it took about 25 minutes to do, and each successive time it's been much simpler to do. And you're going to do a couple of braids, little sections. You're going to start with 1. I like to do about 2 before I start adding in new hair. Okay, and you want to try and keep this to go right along that bang line, or just a little bit above the forehead line if you don't have bangs. So 2 little braids. You can see the angle there. Then we're going to take from the back the very first section. And that very first section is going to get added into the braid. And you just want to take a little twist and then add it in. That's going to keep it still with a little bit of body in the back. So take your section, then braid it in. And add my next section. Just as each one comes over, you add your new piece, sliding off your sectioning pins as you go. Okay. Now if you make this a little bit looser, you can get a really pretty sort of almost Mori-esque style to it, which is very sweet and really gorgeous, I think. If you go a little bit neater, it works really well for classic lolita. And I bet if you put a little bit more volume into it, leave the curls a little curlier, you can definitely get a very good hime style out of this. So we're going to finish off this braid. You want to just try and keep it a little tight. So you want a defined braid all the way across the crown. And when you come down to the end, I'm going to leave a curl in the bottom here, just like that, which I'll brush out, of course. And you want to pin that down. Okay. And I have a skin top wig here, with normal wig cap obviously on the sides. Now this has a little bit of a dip back, so I'm going to make sure I anchor this in pretty well. You might need to add a pin or two just to make sure the braid part doesn't slip back as you wear the wig. Okay, very good. And I'm just going to check the swirls you've done in the back to add those. And I'll show you the side here. Got that here. So for this side piece, which is the next bit, we're going to come up, giving it a full twist. Okay, you can see the twist there, and back. And I'm going to pull this back, and you'll see why I'm doing this piece separately once I start adding decorations. It's going to be the base for my little bird I'm going to put in here. You could choose to do this a little differently if you have different decorations, of course. And you'll see the back. Now if you look at the back, I don't think it's going to be too clear on this video, but you can see that there's wefts visible here and over here. And we want to cover those up because that'll just show you rig cap and make it look a little less pretty. So we've got this whole bottom section. I'm going to take a small section from here and just take this, and again a twist. This is all really twists, and it gives it some nice body. I'm going to come around here and put in one last pin here. And of course you're going to want to use pins that match your hair color or your wig color when doing this. So there we go. And then for this last piece, I'm going to use the very last, biggest piece. Excuse me. And up and twist. This is going to come around like that. You really want to make sure it's going to cover all of your wefts. And you're going to want to use your larger clippy, which I have lost, unfortunately. You're going to use your largest clip on the top here, because this has a tendency to want to slide. And you just want to finagle it so you don't have any of the weft showing. And we've got this pretty. I'm going to take this top piece as well and come all the way over here. I want to leave the back a bit loose and very sort of soft feeling. I think that gives a really lovely feel and would go really well with a lot of flowing materials. Using, say, a chiffon based OP would be really pretty with a hairstyle like this because it matches the same feel. Now we're going to decorate this. Oh, I haven't done the bangs yet. We're going to put the bangs up. Now you could leave the bangs down and just have a nice bang and braided style. But I'm going to put them up just for a little bit of variety. You don't often see too many bangless styles, and I think they can look really pretty, and some people's faces really suit bangless styles. I'm going to put this up, and I'm just twisting and lifting into the braid, and you just want to pin this down, and there'll be flowers around here so the pins won't show. Then you're going to take the piece and tuck it underneath the braid as you go. You might need the back of another pin to help tuck, but it should tuck in fairly easily. There you go. And I like to do 3 sections of the bangs into 3 pieces, and they just come up and they add a little bit more texture to your braid, which is really nice. And on this last piece. Over here. And integrate those last bottom hairs. There you go. So it's got a lovely sweep here. If you were planning on doing a heavy activity that might be windy, I would definitely suggest a couple of coats of light hairspray. But in general, it's not a very fall party style. Excuse me. And you just want to just add a couple of pins here and there as you feel necessary if it feels a little too soft in some places. So now we're going to decorate the wig. You can really decorate it, hi again, however you like. Because it's got so much going on, it can really hold up to a lot of embellishment. I'm going to be using small flowers here. I'm going to be just tucking these into the braid. Now these flowers have the little bendy wire bits, so they're perfect for adding in because they attach really well, and you can sort of weave them into the top of the wig cap. And last one here. Good. And over here. Good. I also got a couple of little pink ones that I'm going to add in here as well. Sorry, I can't see myself when I'm doing that one. Go. I have a little bird's nest that has a little bird and little eggs inside of it, and that's going to come around here. And that's why I did this part here, because it's going to slip right here and really compound on that little twist. So that's why there's a little divot and the hair comes on. Then, the very last thing I'm adding is a big flower sort of drape swag thing here. All these pieces are just from the craft store, and you can get them pretty cheaply. And they can really help bring some of the color from your outfit up into your hair. So I'm going to put this on, and this is going to drape down the back since I don't have anything else on the back of the hair. We don't want to leave that totally blank. And let this drape down. This is also a great way to cover any additional wefts that are not being covered by the hair. Okay, good. And anchor that in the back. So I'm going to show you the style here. It's got the braid in the front with the little flowers. Now I left mine a little bit looser than they show in the Victorian maiden ad. Theirs is very much pulled up. You could very easily, on the back, come and take these loose curls and lift them up and simply pin them, and then it would just have a soft, loose backing. As well as you could take your comb and brush these out a little to make the curls a little bit more soft, longer curls. And you can of course change the decoration on the hairpiece. You can, if you are into sweet styles, you could definitely add some small, maybe fake candies, maybe even a little glitter and a couple of small bows. You could have maybe one of the pretty chocolate mint star clips hanging down the back side. If you really like Time styles, maybe a small tiara and a little bit of glitter would look really gorgeous. And if you like, say, gothic style, I think a swag of jet beads would look very, very pretty on here. I think it's a fairly versatile hairstyle, and it's a little different, and I think it'll definitely keep your head warm this winter. I hope you've enjoyed, and I hope you'll join me when I make my next video. Bye. I'm going to give you a little quick tour of this wig before I go away. So, here it is, all done. And so you can see the braiding here coming down, and the little birdie. And then the back of the wig. Okay. And you can see there's no wefting visible anymore, which is important. And there's the front on view. That pretty swish in front that mingles with the braid. Thank you for watching, and I hope you're having a lovely day. Bye.